Hello everybody and welcome back to the League of Europe Division 3 round 17 at the wonderful Las Vegas circuit, which personally I didn't really like going into it, and actually held pretty good race. So I'm not gonna argue over that. 2 rounds to go. This one and then next week, which I think is Brazil, which is a sprint race. Is it a sprint race as well? I'm not quite sure on that one. Maybe it is, maybe it isn't. Although they probably had a sprint race last week. I can actually check right now. Yes, they did have a sprint race last week. So it will not be at Brazil. It will be... all sprint races are done. So Brazil next week is a bog standard 18-minute full qualifying session, followed by the race, as is Vegas tonight. I am on my own, which caught me a little bit off guard, which is why I'm still going on this. Where they're 2 minutes into quali, no one's come around to set a lap yet, but there's only 12 of them as well. So if everyone finishes the race, they're guaranteed points. They just got to get to the end of the race. I got asked if I was here, and I didn't even think about the fact that if I wasn't here, someone would be covering for me. I just thought, oh, yes, I'm here. I don't normally stream. So that's why I was caught a little bit off guard by that one, but we rushed around and we got it sorted in the end. I think everyone's on an outlap. It's just who's on the first lap round. It's going to be Matt Tibos, so we'll go on board with Matt Tibos. I don't actually remember the corner numbers off the top of my head, and I don't have names particularly, but as it comes through onto the first DRS straight through the first sequence of corners, it's a pretty decent DRS straight, to be fair. Hard braking down here, 90-degree right-hander, you can get all over the curb. On the inside, as he brings it round. Now, this section is very tricky. You gotta be patient. You gotta set it all up. But it's the only bit of the track where there's a bit of like actual flow to it. But as you bring it through, now hard braking down through there. That corner is gonna be very interesting during the race. It's interesting during quali, but I'm going to expect quite a few offs there or crashes, as now Matt Tibos opens the DRS down the straight, down the Las Vegas strip, which is basically the whole point of this circuit, but that's the cynical side of me. As he brakes hard into the chicane at the end of the strip, and now onto the final straight towards the pits. Rounds a little bend on pit entry. And there's the start-finish line. A 32.2 is the benchmark set by Matt Tibos. Now, I did show the standings. I didn't really talk through the standings because I haven't actually had a proper chance to look at them. I rushed around getting it up. But the championship gap after last week is now 3 points. And, I mean, between Farrell and White are right at the top. Those are the two, really. I'd say pretty much everyone else is out of it. It'd be very difficult. Connor O'Keefe is third. He's 39 points back. With 2 rounds to go, that's a difficult one to get. You basically need to... Well, you need to at least get a second and a third both races, as Connor O'Keefe goes up to P1 currently. But you need second and third at both races, and then you'd need people not to score as well. Farrell currently in P4 with a 32.7. There's a 7-tenth split between the top 5 at the moment. Have we got anyone on a flying lap? I think Jay Hings is just starting a lap. Is there anyone further round the lap? Yes, we have Mr. Wouter coming up to the chicane at the end of the strip. Bounce, sends it over the first one, goes straight clean over the second, as there's yellow flags at the Mickey Mouse section. Round by the sphere, as Mr. Walter goes up to P3, so it's currently Ferrari, McLaren on the front 2 rows after the banker laps. We have Jay Hings on a lap. We have Hapuli Boy, I think, coming up to finish a lap. He's at the end of the strip, so see what Hapuli Boy can do as he rounds the final corner, and the start-finish line is right there, and he goes up to P7. Farrell has been disqualified from the session. Huh. Right. I will need to know why. I want some backstory. I do want some backstory. I'm just putting a little message in the chat. See if I get an explanation off that one. But we'll carry on with Jordan. Jordan, the only one on track that hasn't set a lap yet. Jay Hings and Cam K both in the pits. So Jay Hings must have backed off of that lap as Jordan is in. I really need to. Do they have names? They probably have numbers, no? They have numbers, these corners? I do have a track map somewhere. Obviously, it's on my stream, but I have it here somewhere. There we go. Well, hey, he's already 4 corners down the road from where I'm looking anyway. So, this track has somehow has 17 corners, but it only has about 4 braking points. So, okay, 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay, it has 5 braking points. I did it a disservice there. But Jordan coming down the straight. It says he's purple. I will only believe it when he crosses the line. Gets it very nicely over the. Probably could have sent it over the curves, but very tidy within track limits. As he comes up round the final corner and across the line, it's P4. So pretty solid. He's absolutely sent it into turn 1. Jesus. Is that the line? That might be the line. I do not know. I think Matt Tibos is starting a second lap. So we're at 9 minutes into this session. Yeah. It's weird not having that many people, because there isn't a lot going on, and that's my fear for the race, that not much goes on, because if we get some people crash early, we're going to be down to what, 10, 9 people for most of the race. That could be a very long time. It's 25 laps. Now I know it's not the lap time's not the longest. It's a bit longer than in terms of time compared to Jeddah. It's slower than somewhere like Silverstone, but similar laps. It's going to be quicker than Baku. So it's somewhere in the middle, but 25 laps should go fairly quickly still. But if there's safety cars, good lord. Oh, it's going to be a long one. Jacob, what have you left me with? As we get Matt Tibos round to the final corner, across the timing line, what's it going to be? It is a 2/10 improvement, but it is not provisional pole. As I think Conor O'Keefe is actually on the back. He is. He's on the strip. He's on the strip. We have an explanation from Farrell. This is the most pensioner thing I've ever heard. Farrell ran out of fuel. He moved out of the way for someone. And then he couldn't actually move to reverse from where he was. So yeah, apparently his lap times have been 31.8, as we just have a 31.8. That was great timing. Conor O'Keefe up to pole position. Well, stays on pole position actually. Mr. Wyatt in the pits. Wyatt Troy Wyatt, the championship leader. So that 3-point gap did not improve. 0.3 down on his provisional lap time. We have, what big opportunity for Wyatt Troy Wyatt. I know, well, there's obviously not that many people, but Farrell's going to have some ground to make up, and he said he wasn't that. He's not too content with his pace by the sounds of it. So if he survives, which you never know with Farrell, you never know which Farrell you're going to get sometimes. Sometimes he does, sometimes he doesn't. Are these two on laps? AlphaTauri, were they on laps? He's on the... His battery's flashing. I'm assuming that you can't. Oh no, it's not him. It's Matt. Oh, now I can't. Now I can't see it. I'm trying to look at the red light. I've forgotten completely who it is now. It's MCR. Red light's still flashing. So MCR, unless he's used all the battery, I have no idea how bad battery use is around here. I'd assume it's not great. As MCR rounds the chicane and comes into the pits. So no, Wyatt Troy Wyatt did not go again. Is anyone on a lap? No, I don't think they are. I don't think anyone. I think they're all coming into the pits. So we're gonna get a flurry of the 11 left. All striving for that final lap time. Only 2 out on track. Ecos Matt is going for a lap. So he will be out of sync from everyone else. I think Matt has done this quite a bit this season. He's wanted that track to himself. As I think Cam K will enter the pits. It does look like that on the mini-map. Yes, Cam K's in the pits. But Matt's bringing it through. Sector 1 is very long, and then you look at Sector 2, and it's just... Sector 2 is one corner. Really? Well, 2 corners, because you got this bit. That didn't look great from Matt, so I don't know. I'm still getting used to this track. But as Matt brings it through, well, he's not yet at the sector split. The sector split's quite a long way away, actually. So as we wait for Matt to find the sector split, which is here, he's 5 tenths up, which would put him 11th still at the moment. So he's still right at the back. But it is a big improvement, so, well, you don't know whether there was a mistake or anything, but he's kept it clean this time around, and Matt's across the line is... he lost a bit of time in that final sector. 33 flat, and that will be his qualifying done. Don't think he's got enough time. He'll be close to get round and get out again. But we do have our first car out for a warm-up lap before the final runs begin. Jordan, the only car out on track for an out lap at the moment. There's an Aston Martin coming out the pits to join him. That is Pewley Boy, who is currently 10th, so needs to find some ground. But Jordan, he's P4 at the moment. He's in a very handy position. But can he sneak further up? That is a slide and a half. But this is the problem Jordan's going to have. Unless he goes for a second warm-up lap, which he's not using. Well, no, he is now using, so he's pushing now. So he's going to have people coming out the pits right in front of him. Luckily, they have held back. But we're going to get Jordan coming through now. He's got those 4 cars just up the road. Whether they interfere or not, we'll wait and see. But he is very out of sync with everyone else as he brings it through the right-hander at the end of the first DRS straight. I probably do need to learn the corner numbers as he flicks through this this section. Is that the monorail on the right-hand side? I think it is. But he's brought it very nicely through there. Keeps it tight to the right-hand side. Flicks it over back to the right now. Hard braking. Away from the curb, but gets through there cleanly. And here are those cars. So he's got actually past them in a very nice position there down the strip. And he will be off with the DRS open. Down to the final chicane. I think this is turn 14. 14, 15, and then 16. That didn't sound particularly nice over the curbs, but Jordan is going to bring it round the final corner now. Is this enough to improve? It is, but it's not enough to get to the leaders. 32-1. Still sat in behind Matt Tibos. But does get past Mr. Wouter for the time being. But obviously everyone else, except for Matt's, is yet to come round to do their lap. Who is the Ferraris are on out laps. There's an Alpine, which is on an out lap. So I think we have the Aston Martins. And I think Capuli Boy is the first one. He's come round. He's nearly in the wall there, Capuli Boy. So whether that's going to cost him, as he will hit the Sector 2 split fairly soon. This is an experience and a half trying to learn this track. He's 3 tenths up. It is going to put him in the mix around his teammate at the moment, but that's wide through the chicane 14 and 15. As he brings it onto the pit straight now. Next car up is going to be a YHYY, but we'll see what Hapuli Boy can do. The checker flag is out at the end of the session. Hapuli Boy goes up ahead of his teammate for the time being. YHYY has got MCR right behind him. So we won't have to wait long to figure out which Aston Martin is going to be leading. YHYY across the line. Only up to 4th for the championship leader as MCR goes 6th. That can get beaten, but Mr. Wouter is all over the place as he comes past the sphere. Who's next across the line? It's going to be Ryan B. Crosses the line, does improve, but it's not enough to go up a place. As we have Jay Hings now up to the line, goes up to P8, it knocks Hapuli Boy back down to P9. Who's next? I really don't know. Jordan's in the pits. Matt Tibos across the line. Oh, it's a minimal gain. And it's nowhere near Connor O'Keefe as Kamke, the American, at one of his million home tracks, goes up to P3. We've got the Ferraris are the only cars on track. There will be a Ferrari pole position as, wow, Connor O'Keefe does a 31.3. Right. That's a 5 temp gain when no one else, he's 7 temps ahead. Wow. 6-ish temps ahead. That is that one's come out of the blue. I mean, he was already on pole, but to gain that much time. Connor O'Keefe starts on pole position from Matt Tibos. Kamke, the American, will start 3rd alongside Jordan, the championship leader, with a chance to well, he does have the chance to win the title today. He needs to win. And Farrell to basically not score any points. White starts 5th next to Mr. Wouter in the other Ferrari. MCR and Ryan B are on the 4th row. Jay Hings in 9th. Hapuli Boy 10th. Mats was 11th. And Farrell disqualified from the session. Having no fuel and not being able to reverse. Which sense, I guess. there we go. We have 12 drivers for a full race at Vegas. Let's go. Yeah, there is I get sent the like kind of permutations before each race. Apparently there's only 4 in the championship. Connor O'Keefe and Matt Tibos are still in championship contention by the looks of it, but the only way they stay in is if White Troy finishes like 7th or 8th or lower, something like that. It's really Farrell. Farrell has to score. Basically, if Farrell's in the top 10, he stays in the championship no matter what. But should have invited D4 drivers. Well, I know Eloy has done that before, where they've had like a lower division like all-star set of drivers, which they just invite someone. That it was in the early days of Eloy, especially. I can't remember them doing it recently off the top of my head, but they did do it, especially the first couple of seasons. I've been privileged enough to be part of Division 2 All-Stars in Division 1 in the early days. It must have been the early days, because there's no way I'd be near D1 right now. But it has happened. But not tonight. But tonight was a very short notice thing, I think. But anyway, they're on their formation lap. They're bringing it round. I haven't actually checked the tyres. From what I've seen, I was going to say it's a lot of medium hard, but it is quite a bit of soft out there. Apparently it's a medium hard, one stop, whatever, but softs, I mean, they'll be good. Farrell, you can kind of risk it. You hope for that early safety car. Yep, I'm going to need that good look. I'm really going to need it. But Farrell can risk those softs with the... if an early safety car comes up, he's in a pretty good position to get off them. And potentially go a bit further. But he's got to make positions. He's got to throw it away. Cam K is masterclass of a driver, Bahrain. Will not be forgotten. But he's going with that strategy again, and Mr. Wouter has joined him on that one as well. There's quite a few playing it safe on those medium tyres. Connor O'Keefe on pole position using the hards, I think is a bit of a risk at the front, because you can slip back quite easily, but he has got the pace, and he has been actually missed his grid slot, as is Cam K. Farrell is the last to line up. He has actually made it into his grid slot. So, we will get the 5 lights at some point. Will it give me a good camera angle? No, it won't. And so we have 5 lights, and away we go. Has Matt Tibos got a good enough start? No, he has not. Cam K has got a great start, though. Will be on the outside of the McLaren driver as he dives up the inside of the Ferrari into turn 1. We're going to get Matt Tibos and Connor O'Keefe side by side, but Connor O'Keefe's going to be able to hold on to that as there's a yellow flag in the background. That's 2 cars around. That's Jay Hings and her Puli boy. Farrell already up to 9th, but we've got Matt Tibos and Cam K side by side. Cam K squirming all over the road up the inside. They're 3 wide into this corner, and White Troy's in the wall. After White Troy, Jordan had a little bit of a tank stab, but couldn't, trying to avoid people. Got caught up with White Troy. Cam K's off the road. White Troy in the wall. Farrell's now up ahead of White Troy after all of that. And Cam K is now going for a move on Connor O'Keefe yet again. Can he get it done this time? Around the outside of this section. No, he's going to have to tuck back in. He will get the hole straight to make this move. I want to know if there's any damage to that 8th place McLaren, because that It didn't look like the biggest hit, but you never know being sandwiched in like that. As Cam K takes the lead, there's going to be a lot of switching down this straight, I would have thought, as Conor O'Keefe. It's not a lot of time being found in the slipstream, and he stays in behind. What's this situation looking like then? It might not be the worst thing. That was contact in the background. Yep, Matt's on the inside of Jordan, has tagged him round. And now Jordan has lost his wing. And that may bring out some sort of... No, he might just get away with avoiding a safety car as Cam K into the lead. Just tapped the wall there. That was a bit bizarre as we have a Ferrari round in the back. That is Mr. Walter. Matt Tibos was going for it, I think, on Conor O'Keefe. There's chaos ensuing all around. Deltas are now glitched as well, which is lovely. I can clearly see that people are not a minute and a half away from each other, luckily, but we'll wait for them to sort themselves out. But we do have this kind of 3-car... Wow, actually, Matt Tibos isn't doing the best job of staying with them, but then again, who can trust the Delta? Because that is not half a second. No, half a tenth. It was a bit more than that. Oh, that's close to the wall for Conor O'Keefe. Is that going to allow Matt Tibos to have a chance? It's only lap 2. And I'm out of breath. This may be an issue. We do have Farrell right on the back of MCR and actually going up to 5th place. So Farrell is on a charge, trying to make up these positions that he couldn't. Well, he obviously got disqualified in qualifying, but he's now up to P5 in the race, 2 positions ahead of his championship rival. Will put him ahead in the title fight. I don't even know if Farrell hasn't. Farrell might have led the championship after round 3. That's about it. Cam K comes across the line to set the fastest lap, and he's now 1.3 seconds clear of Conor O'Keefe. That might have been down the straight. Cam K has no ERS left at all. Compared to everyone else around him, well, behind him, no ERS to play with whatsoever. And now DRS is activated. So now we're going to get maybe a few games. How are those softs feeling for Cam K? Can he put a nice little gap before the DRS detection point at the beginning of the Las Vegas Strip? They bring it through this section. And that was sideways for Conor O'Keefe, and that might just be enough for him to lose out on DRS. Matt Tibos is still there in range. Mr. Walter picks up a 5-second time penalty. That must have been just clean. Not even trying to make the corner. But Conor O'Keefe might have just done enough. That was... Cam K had a moment coming through the chicane. Is it enough for DRS? It is enough for DRS. After... He's just about snuck in. I thought Cam K had done enough, but Cam K's let it slip, and now he's completely out of ERS and is an absolute sitting duck when it comes round to it. Conor O'Keefe now right with Cam K. With a lot more ERS to play with as Matt gets through on Mr. Walter. But this is going to be a pretty simple overtake when Conor O'Keefe wants to do it. But where does he want to do it? Is he going to send it into turn 1? No, he backs out from that one. So the Ferrari driver, the pole sitter, will sit in behind the American for the time being. Farrell now up to P4 ahead of Ryan B. And now his task is to try and get DRS of everyone else as Conor O'Keefe dives to the right-hand side and gets ahead of Cam K into turn... I'm not gonna bother trying to say what corner number it is because I don't know. But Conor O'Keefe has the lead. Matt Tibos was very wide coming into that chicane. Farrell needs 3 attempts. Well, Matt Tibos, his teammate is the championship leader. Will he do him any favours? Well, we'll wait and see. That gap's still 1.4 seconds, so it's not going to be enough for Farrell this time, and probably has him getting re-overtaken. But by how many cars? As we come down the strip for lap 4, And Kamke is going to absolutely fly past. Has he been saving up his ERS? A little bit as Ryan B comes through on Farrell. MCR is a long way off the back of Farrell actually at the time being. It's not pulling them any closer. But that was a mistake from Connor O'Keefe, I think. Which, oh, actually, is Connor O'Keefe was edging towards the pit lane there. He's maybe just going defensive. Kamke all over the back of him. This is going to be an overtake for P1. It is. Oh, forced very wide out there was Connor O'Keefe. And you think this might be a little bit of deja vu from the last lap. Is Connor O'Keefe going to get the run with the DRS down the back straight? You'd think so. It should be a pretty easy one as we've got another yellow flag into turn one. That's Mr. Wouter off as Connor O'Keefe takes the lead. There's also an Alpha Tauri around Jay Hings. This is getting very close at the front. Oh, Kamke has a wobble. He cuts the chicane. That's the second time he's done that. And actually, there's his penalty. But it has brought everyone else with them as Connor O'Keefe now has a wobble. Is that a wobble, or is that being cynical when saying he's doing it on purpose? Who knows? They have been told if they do it, they will be penalised for it. And for the steward to come out and say that, it's not where you want to be. But Farrell was a bit further back from that. But everyone in this train now has DRS. Ryan B and Matt Tibos side by side. Matt Tibos did not have a very good run through that section. But it has brought everyone back together as Connor O'Keefe goes for the lead on Kamke into the braking zone. Gets it done. Matt Tibos very close to the back of Kamke. Kamke wide again. Whether he's pushed there, I don't know. He's going to really bunch up through there. And now, look at Farrell sniffing in behind. Matt Tibos side by side with Ryan B yet again. But Farrell into the pits. That is a very... I don't really know strategies around here. But that could be a master stroke, because he will get a very nice piece of clean air now and a very nice undercut. But whether the tyres hold up, who knows. But it's all kicking off at the front. Connor O'Keefe now has a 1.4 second lead over Kamke to have those softs completely died off. Maybe it was exactly the right time to pit. The end of lap 5, maybe that was just perfection for Farrell, as he's now out on a set of mediums. So is that a 2-stop? I would think that's a 2-stop, but those tyres on Kamke's car do not seem to be working whatsoever. He's struggling so much through that section every single lap, to the point though where it's actually hurting Matt Tibos a lot more trying to follow him than it is Kamke in front. Connor O'Keefe just running away with this one now on the hard compound of tyres as they brake hard to get back on the strip. Lap 6. Is Matt Tibos. He should be close enough to get a run on Kamke. Kamke, no DRS, obviously. Matt Tibos gonna have as much DRS as he wants. He's getting closer. He's getting closer. Is it close enough? As they get to the end of the straight, it's not close enough. He cannot get through on Kamke. He's gonna have to sit in behind yet again. But you can just see Kamke struggling through the corners, especially on the exit, as Matt Tibos now right up behind the gearbox of the Amo. There's a little bit of contact as they go through the kink of 17. Kamke sliding and there's contact, and they've just about avoided damage, but that's a difficult one. I'm not going to apportion blame there. Matt Tibos couldn't really do much. Kamke couldn't really do much. They kind of met in the middle. One had a slide, one was in the wrong place. It's a painful one. But Farrell is now trying to go round the outside of Pewley Boy. I don't think either of them got DRS, but this is Farrell having already made a pit stop. He's really not that far behind, as we have a yellow flag, which I don't know what that's for. It's been cleared now anyway. Matt Tibos is now behind. Matt Tibos has been in the wall. That's what that yellow flag was for. Matt Tibos has lost the front piece of his front wing, got a 5-second penalty for corner cutting as well. Definitely lost a bit of that. That's a whole end plate gone down the straight of all places. So whether he's had further contact with Kamke, I don't know, but it's a weird one. Just got to make sure he makes the corner just about as we've got a change for P2. Now that Matt Tibos and Kamke are kind of out of the equation, White Hawaii has snuck himself up to P2. He'd obviously want to win this race, but he's racing Farrell at the end of the day. He needs to get as many points as possible and hope Farrell doesn't score, but you just want to outscore them. I don't know if that's the right mentality, but that's always the mentality I've had when I've been in these situations, battling people in the championships. I'm focusing more on outscoring them, maximising what I can do, and outscoring. Trying to beat them. That's always the motivation. But White Hawaii is ahead of Farrell, obviously, by about 13 seconds, 14 seconds at the moment. But Farrell has made that extra pit stop. Well, that pit stop White Hawaii has not made, and I'm assuming Farrell will not touch the hard tyres during this race, as Matt Tibos is now in the pits. He's all the way down in P11. So, from battling for the lead, Matt Tibos is now, well, he's now dead last. As Farrell is now all over the back of Ecos Mats, and I think Farrell will wait until the main straight. I would have thought it would be a bit silly to do it anywhere else, but Mats is really struggling along here. Does not have the pace. And Farrell, obviously on the fresh tyres, all over the back of him. But he'll want to sit in behind here and just get that DRS down the straight. Farrell gets DRS, he overtakes, he's gone. And then he can push on the next lap. But he needs to he's lost a bit of time there as Ryan B and White Hawaii swap positions yet again on the strip as MCR gets past his teammate. MCR also having made an early stop, and he started on mediums. I'm pretty sure, or he's on the hards. I can't remember. I think it was mediums. Kamke's still out there on the softs, still going strong. But now Farrell is actually only 8 seconds behind Kamke now. Obviously, Kamke had that spin. I don't know the speed, the difference, time loss. Sorry, the time loss for the pit lane. Clearly didn't seem to be that much, but we'll see. Farrell in clean air now, how quickly he can close up. Obviously, Kamke's on softs, so pretty dead softs at this point. But still, you can look at the time gained lost to the leaders. Connor O'Keefe is in a very nice position here. He's just up the road. He's gone. I mean, clearly that qualifying pace was not a fluke. It's not like the one perfect lap that Hamilton did in Singapore where he's just nailed it and then the race was a bit more complicated, but it's not like one of those where you just get the perfect lap. It's clearly that's how quick he is. Doing that on a harder compound of tyres. That is good going, but Farrell's already brought that gap down to 6 seconds to Kamke. I mean, it was like 8 at the start of the lap. There's White Hawaii and Ryan B swap places yet again for P2. It's going to happen quite a lot. I get the feeling. As MCR also gets past Matt to bring himself back up to P6. Farrell's on a charge. He's obviously not going to gain that much time down the straights as Brian B is, I think, well, not the first he's the first of the leaders to come into the pits for a change of tyre. Well, where's he going to come out? Obviously, yeah, so him and White Hawaii, he's going to go on the hards for the rest of the race. Farrell's long gone. Where's he actually going to come out? This is going to be very intriguing to me. Hapuli Boy's coming through turn 1 now. Is the Mercedes on the inside line gonna be clear of the Aston Martin? He is, but on cold hards, he's going to drift out wide. Is he going to hold this position? I think he is. So he's come out in P7, but if you actually look at the gaps, how far is he behind Farrell? Matt Tibos does the fastest lap of the race all the way at the back. There's been no safety car, which is another thing I thought. There's been no safety car whatsoever. No sign of a safety car. No, it's a lot less common with less people, but still. Ryan B is what? How far behind Farrell is that? I'm going to need to switch the thing. Farrell is what? 13 seconds back, and so it's about 8 seconds. 8 seconds. Now, obviously, Ryan B will be trying not to pit again. Farrell will have to make another pit stop because there's I doubt those tyres are going to the end. Someone that will try and do that one stop is Cam K. But Cam K has lost that much time that Farrell is already 2.5 seconds behind him. He's gaining 3 seconds a lap. Farrell is on Cam K. Cam K's still going out there. He's actually just stayed out for another lap, so he's on lap 11 now on these soft tyres. He will be going to mediums. Farrell might even try and go back to softs, but I don't know if that's the smartest thing to do. I'd take an earlier pit stop and go on another set of mediums if he has them. I don't know, obviously, the tyre situation, but that's what I'd do. I'm also not racing, so I'm not racing in this race anyway. I am racing in the other one. But Farrell is now second, within the second of Farrell, of Cam K. Now he was behind Cam K. He was behind Cam K when he pit, just behind, and he's now right behind him, having done an extra pit stop. I think Cam K needs to pit. He's losing a bit too much time now. White Troy Y is 7 seconds in front of him. That is, yeah. I mean, I know he had that little bit of he had that collision with Matt Tibos. Matt Tibos is now at the back, and Cam K is now, well, I mean, he's still P3 for the time being, but it's about to be P4 as Farrell is now into a legitimate podium position. Still has another stop to go, but he's gone for this 2-stop. It's a very... Do you know what? If someone was going to do it, it was probably... I thought Cam K was going to do it, but Cam K now comes into the pits. So that is... Cam K is actually one-stopping with softer compounder tyres. So that is... I mean, he's bled a lot of time there. He's got to make it back, but I just don't see him making that back against Farrell. White Troy Y... I missed that. White Troy Y is in the pits. And White Troy Y, he was battling, what, Ryan B? Look how far behind Ryan B is now. That is a lot of time lost from White Troy Y. He's, what, 4 seconds behind Ryan B in the one lap? Oh, no, maybe 2 laps. Sorry, 2 laps. 2 lap undercut, 4 seconds. That's a lot of time. That's a lot of time. Farrell, Connor O'Keefe won't be thinking about pitting yet. He's got enough time. He can just go as long as he likes. He can go as long as he likes. And just see how it unfolds. If a safety car comes out, he pits under a safety car. If it doesn't, he pits whenever he wants to pit. Connor O'Keefe in a perfect position. Without a mistake. To take this one, he's been utterly dominant, and we're only halfway through. Actually, we're not even halfway through yet. It's halfway around. The next lap is halfway. As Farrell, look at that distance behind him. He's 4.5 seconds ahead of MCR now. I don't know. Ryan B is closing a little bit on MCR. Farrell is going for it. But behind, we have a Pewley boy, and Matt Tibos is right in behind this. Let's go on board with Tibos. As he's got Jay Hings right in front. White Troy White gets past Matt. That is very close to contact. But Matt Tibos just about moves aside to get that overtake on Jay Hings. He's up now into P9. As Matt was in the pits. Where Matt will come out, I do not know. Be close to this group. He might actually be ahead of this group. So Matt's, after all of that, might be in P7. Yeah, he's in P7. He's that's a pretty good job from Matt's. Pretty good stint. These lot are all going to the end. I would have thought maybe Jay Hings has a pit stop to make. Oh, that was close to the wall, but Bewley boy gets through on Matt's and is up to P7. Cam K. He's P6. He's in a race of his own now. That's how much time he lost staying out. He's now 12.5 seconds behind White Troy Y. I don't think he's had another off since he's pit. So that is a lot of time to lose. Ryan B is right on the back. Oh, that closing speed was... that's scary from that angle. But Ryan B is through on MCR and up to P3. That gap to Farrell is 5 seconds. So actually, the race leader is into the pits now. I would have left it a bit longer. Unless unless he's fearing that he's going to be overtaken, which actually... Looking at where, well, Farrell's got through, but looking at where Ryan B is and the pace that he's had, Connor O'Keefe is going to come out. He's ahead of White Try White. He's behind. He's been overtaken on track by Ryan B and MCR. And I think MCR and Farrell will pit again. Connor O'Keefe's going to the end. But Ryan B is also going to the end. So the provisional leader of this race is the Mercedes driver of Ryan B. But Connor O'Keefe, on a fresh set of mediums, is going to be a man on a mission. It's just whether he can actually do anything, whether he gets the chance down the straight to do anything. Look at him, he's already all over the back of MCR. He should get MCR this lap. So he is so much quicker than pretty much everyone in the field at the moment. That gap at the front is also closing, so those mediums might be starting to struggle from Farrell because Ryan B is closing rapidly. As Connor O'Keefe's going to absolutely storm past MCR now. And up, back into P3, back into that podium position. And now we can go chase after the win. Farrell's got a lot of work to do when he comes back out the pits, and whether he can make up that ground, it's going to be a tough one. Whatever he decides to do, I think with the pace that... Oh, he's in the pits now, so is this going to be a set of mediums to the end for Farrell? He didn't want to lose more time. He's in the pits now, as actually MCR comes into the pits as well. They should... Oh, it would be close with Cam K, I reckon. As Cam K comes around the kink of 17, and actually Farrell is going to be well clear of him. MCR is going to be behind, but Farrell is out in P4. He's got 9 seconds to make up to YHYY. That is the battle. If they finish... Let's say Farrell overtakes YHYY and they finish 3rd and 4th. They'll be tied. I don't know who's got the fastest lap point, but if you ignore that point, they'll be tied going into the final race. So this is exactly what we want. But he's got a lot of time to make up for that to happen. He's got 9 seconds to close up to the championship leader, Connor O'Keefe. Speaking of leaders, is Ryan B and Connor O'Keefe. Connor O'Keefe has the DRS. Is he close enough to Ryan B to actually get this overtake done down the straight? It's going to be a close one. That's for certain. He isn't exactly pushing for it on the ERS, and actually he's nowhere near come the end of the straight, so he will have to sit in behind. The good thing for Farrell is YHY is getting absolutely no DRS assistance. He's kind of in his own race at this point, 4 seconds back from 4.5 seconds back from this group. But Connor O'Keefe all over the back of Ryan B. Is he going to send it into one? No, he thinks about it, but doesn't go for it in the end. I'm just wondering if YHY may have tapped the wall on the exit of the turns 14, 15, 16 chicane. Because there was a lot of time lost just randomly. As Connor O'Keefe back up into the lead, where he's been pretty much all race. Well, he was all race before the pit stop. Well, after lap 1, really. But now he's back there. Can he gap Ryan B enough to get him out of the DRS? I don't know, because as long as Ryan B sticks around, there's always the threat of being re-overtaken down the straight. And actually, without a mistake, Ryan B might stick around just one more lap. And he is going to stick around one more lap. He has pushed to try and get rid of the DRS, but it's not going to work. So Farrell has brought that gap down to 7.2. That's why I questioned whether either Farrell's tyres have just warmed up, Or YHY did clip a wall. I'll back Farrell on this one and say his tyres are warmed up. But YHY is losing bizarre amounts of time, especially through the chicane. He's not happy through there, as Connor O'Keefe has now gapped to second. So I think any battle for the lead for the time being is done. No one at this point in the race, no one is within DRS of each other. So now let's just enjoy the charge, I guess, of Farrell. He's got 6 seconds to find on his championship rival. Cam K is well, the penalty kind of hampers anything Cam K wants to do in this race, and he's got another 4.5 seconds to find if he wants to close up on top of the 5.5. So yeah, Cam K's got a lot of work to do. Only 8 laps to go after this one as well, so it's not like they're spoiled for time as Jay Hing sets the fastest lap of the race in P12. That will count because obviously there's only 12 of them. They're all still in the race. Yeah. We've had a few incidents, but nothing major. And here we are. Everyone's still in the race. We've not had a safety car. We're just trotting on as the gap for the lead is now 2.5 seconds. It was 1 at the start of the lap, so that just shows the difference in tyres, I guess, when Connor keeps using them. That gap is now 5.3. See what it's like through the chicane this time around, because that's where YHY has been struggling as Farrell brings it through there, and it has come down yet again, under 5 seconds now. Is it going to be enough for Farrell? I don't know. Basically, it's not whether he can close the 5 seconds, it's whether he can close the 4 seconds and get in DRS. Because as soon as he'll get in DRS, he's got a chance on overtake, like pretty much there. It's just whether he can close the DRS gap in time, which is 3.5 seconds from what he is at now. He is on an absolute charge. I think he'll do this. I think he'll do this pretty comfortably in the end, actually, as well. He's managing to gap Cam K as well, so not bringing anyone with him, which is good news for YHY. I don't think Farrell's got enough time to go chase after Ryan B, but this attack at YHY is going to come. He's closing that gap. It will come in the final couple of laps. We're going to get the 2 championship rivals battle it out, and it could be a massive result either way, even if it's only a 3-point swing. I mean, you could be looking at them going in level to the final race at Sao Paulo, or YHY could have a 6-point lead. So there's 7 laps to go. Farrell, the gap is 4 seconds. As he brings, he's hit the wall! He's hit the wall! And he smacked the wall that time. Surely, that's some sort of damage, because that was a big hit. If he's got away with that, he's a very lucky boy, but he's lost some time regardless. And as he brings it through turn 1, does it look understeery? It doesn't look great from Farrell. It doesn't look great. Is that going to be the end of the chase? Because it's just the smallest mistake. It's a little bit too early on the turn-in. And he's hit the wall. He has still gained a hell of a lot of time on YHY. But if he's now got wing damage to contend with, he's just not going to be able to find that time. And actually, the gap isn't coming down anymore the same way it was. Although, I'll take that back. It was coming down a hell of a lot more than this, though, before. So, but Farrell's just made his life a hell of a lot harder trying to close this gap. It's a small error, but it's had consequences. I don't even think, if he's got damage, it wouldn't have been from the first contact. It would have been from the second contact. The first one looked like he could have got away with it, but it's just put him offline. But we'll have to see whether he can still close that gap. Because YHY is not closing the gap in front of him. Ryan B. Fair play to Ryan B. Ryan B's had a hell of a race here. Really consistent. I mean, no one's a match for Conor O'Keefe in terms of pace, but he's been the closest one to him, and he can hang his hat on that one. But the gap between Farrell and White is now 3.1, so he has closed it yet again. I did say it's not the worst place to get damage, actually, because it will improve your straight line speed. There's no physical damage, but who knows? We'll pretend like he doesn't have damage, and if he doesn't overtake him, it just means he's bad. It's probably the reaction times have gone because of his age. But the gap is now 2.6. So I don't think he got damage. I think he was just out of rhythm for that whole first sector. You kind of you have an instant, it knocks you. You need to put yourself back in there. I guess the straight kind of does that. But the gap is now 2.4, so Farrell's actually closing quicker than he was before he hit the wall. So maybe he got a speed boost from it or something. I don't know. The Codemasters have done that before, have they not? You hit the wall and you turn into God mode or something. But Farrell's now 2.1 behind. I mean, he only needs a lap and maybe 2 laps to get DRS. That's his target. It's DRS. Because once you're there, you ain't falling backwards. If you get DRS, you're there for as long as you want to be there. It's whether he's confident enough that he can make the overtake before the final lap. They've been told not to play DRS chicken, but are they going to listen? We'll have to wait and see. Farrell's not making that mistake again, is he? It's a bit cautious, more cautious through the chicane and actually loses a bit of time. But you'd rather that than be out the race, wouldn't you? So, here we go. I know I'm ignoring everyone else, but there isn't much else happening. This is the main battle. If they're battling on the final lap and Conor O'Keefe wins the race, crosses the line, I'm going to completely ignore the race winner. Not on purpose, but because this is a very, very, very important moment for the entire season. As Farrell is now 1.6 seconds behind. The top two are coming together on track. It's going to come down to who's ahead at the right time. He's out of ERS. He's got a lot of ERS. And actually, Farrell didn't look like he was closing with quite the same vigour as in previous attempts around that section, but he's normally pretty good into this corner, as he's quite cautious that time around, but does gain on the exit. It's 1.4 seconds now. If I'm White, I've got all that ERS. Is it going to be enough to use it in defence? I don't know if that's going to be enough to just use it for defending, because... Oh, actually... Something I haven't realised is White and Farrell are actually closing back in on Ryan B. They were falling away. They're now closing back towards Ryan B. He's lost a lot of time in the last couple of laps. His tyres are a bit older, but there's not potentially over for a battle for second. But there is only 3 laps to go after this one, so... Yeah, not a lot of time for Ryan B to mess that one up, but we've seen more bizarre things happen. As that gap is now 1.1, you get the feeling if White doesn't use a bit of overtake, Farrell's going to be in DRS. I'd be using my overtake to keep him out of DRS rather than using it to defend when he has it. As Matt Tibos comes into the pits, that's probably for a fastest lap attempt. It is! Soft tyres going on. Because that will get you an extra point. Everyone in the points. Everyone in the race is in the points because there's only 12 people. It goes down to 12. So anyone that finishes this race will take the fastest lap point. Farrell is within a second. The detection point is just after that corner and he's done enough. So Farrell will have DRS. It's whether he wants to go for it. He's got 3 more laps after this. If he wants to hang about, to be fair, I don't know if he'll have enough to actually go for it. But look at the speed he's closing with. They've been told not to play DRS chicken, so he's just going to go ahead and get that overtake done. No DRS down the pit straight. Does he have the confidence in himself to be able to gap YHYY? I don't know. YHYY still has all that ERS to use. He has not touched it. Oh, this is going to come down to the wire. This is going to go right to the end. Is Farrell confident enough in himself to be able to drop YHYY? That is the question. But YHYY does have DRS down this little bit of a straight. So that will counter anything Farrell wanted to do down there. He did gap quite nicely through the first couple of corners. Has he got enough? There isn't really much time to actually gap someone else. And it doesn't look like it's going to be enough. If I'm YHYY, I'm using a little bit. He's not using anything. As the gap's now 7 tenths. And he's still well within range. Although he's definitely got DRS, but he did fall a bit further back from Farrell. As they're going to come down the strip for the 23rd time. Conor O'Keefe still leading from Ryan B. But this is the battle we want to see. The two championship contenders. And YHYY is going to sit in behind. He's not going to go for the move. He wants that overtake on the final lap. That's what he wants. Farrell just needs to be able to gap him. And I don't think Farrell's quite got enough to be able to pull away from him as much as he wants to, as much as he needs to. Obviously needs to clear the DRS window, but with the amount of battery that YHYY's got as well, it's a difficult task for Farrell. It's similar to last lap in terms of where they are compared to each other. This is very controlled from YHYY. I'm kind of silent now, just trying to watch what's going on as Matt Tibos does take the fastest lap of the race. That was not a great exit from YHYY. Will he use a bit of battery to stay with? He's closer than he was this time last lap. Farrell's really trying, but the gap is slightly closer than last lap. If I'm YHYY, I'm doing everything to try and stay behind this lap, but you never know what's going to happen on the next lap. You never know when the opportunity might come again, but he may stay in behind here. He is going to stay in behind there, actually. He's still probably got a lot more ERS than Farrell. Let's actually have a look. Oh, yeah, he's still got 60% of his battery. Like, this is going to be a no contest coming down the... But one thing we have not thought about is that gap in front is only 1.7 seconds. Do we see Farrell sneak within DRS of Ryan B? Because that will put all of YHYY's plans on hold for for this final lap. We're on the final lap. Conor O'Keefe has nearly a 10-second lead. And... this Mercedes has just drifted back into this shot. It's 1.5 seconds the gap between Ryan B and Farrell, with YHYY all over the back of Farrell. Farrell, I'm giving it everything to get within DRS range of Ryan B. It's 1.2 seconds now. It's going to be really close to this detection point. If Farrell can get a good exit around here, it's going to be super close for Farrell to get DRS. If he gets DRS, he's going to hold this position. Is it enough for Farrell? Is it enough? On the exit of the corner, it's not enough. Oh, he's actually had a really bad run through the corner, and YHYY should fly so quickly past him. Farrell won't even get a chance to see him. There he goes with the ERS. He's now going after Ryan B. He's going to be so quick. Farrell tried to get that move done, tried to break away as quickly as possible. We're going to get Connor O'Keefe cross the line to win in Vegas. Ryan B's just going to hang on. They're going to be side by side, are they? Up to the line. No, Farrell's just going to run out. And YHYY is going to extend the championship lead to 6 points. Going into the final round, Farrell so close to tying it all up. We'll have to settle for being 6 points behind. So close to the final goal. If he got DRS on that final straight, he had a very good chance of holding on to that one. But it just wasn't to be for Farrell. Cam K comes home in 5th place in the end. The 2 Aston Martins, MTR and the Pewter Boy in 6th and 7th. Mats finishes 8th. Pretty good race for Mats in the end. Mr. Walter in 9th. Matt Tibos will overtake him on penalties, and I think kept the fastest lap as well as Jay Hings and Jordan. Actually, these two might be trying to beat the fastest lap as we speak. Jay Hings will be first one across the line, so we'll see what his attempt can do as Jay Hings crosses the line now. Does not set the fastest lap. We have Jordan finishing B12, and that didn't look like it was the fastest lap either. So I think Matt Tibos holds on to the extra point for fastest lap. That race, it does. I think it does rule. Yeah, it rules Connor O'Keefe and Matt Tibos out of the championship. Connor O'Keefe even winning the race. Still a long way behind. The championship will go down to the final race of the season between Farrell and YHYY. YHYY has 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. This is the 6th podium of the season for YHYY. 2nd, 3rd place. Has not won a race since Hungary though. And that'll be concerning, a little bit concerning for YHYY. But the consistency's been there. Though Kota is up and down, but there we go. Connor O'Keefe wins 9.2 seconds ahead of Ryan B. YHYY holds off Farrell by less than a 10th of a second. We have Cam K, MCR, Apuli Boy, Matt's in 8th, Matt Tibos taking the fastest lap point in 9th, Mr. Wouter in 10th, Jay Hings 11th, and Jordan in 12th. There we have it then. All done and dusted for Division 3 round 17. I think I have round 17. Yes. We will be back next week for Brazil. When I say we, I do not include myself. I shall not be here for commentary next week. So it has been an absolute pleasure commentating on Division 3 this season. It will be someone completely different. We don't know who. Me and J. Cole are not available next week. So we will have to find someone to slide in for the season finale who has absolutely no idea what's been going on. But we can only apologise for that, I guess. We have Division 2 and Division 4 about to start in 25 minutes. Division 1 has been going on at the same time. So if you haven't watched that already, go check it out. But yeah, next week, Brazil, same time as always. And from all of us at LOE, we will see you in the next one.